Every day we browse popular websites and often think about how well designed and functional they are. But have you ever wondered what truly sets a well-made website apart from a poorly designed one? Beyond visual aesthetics, the real hero is typography, in simple terms, the text. And I'm about to show you the simplest typography guide you'll ever need. It might sound basic, but typography is one of the most powerful elements that makes a website both functional and visually appealing. Visually, text gives a website its voice and personality, its unique style, we can say. Functionally, text guides us through the experience. It controls how we navigate a page, thanks to hierarchy, which tell us what to read, when to read it, and how to process it. Hierarchy is the order of importance in text elements. It helps us understand what we should focus on first. Now you know the secret behind what makes a great website truly special. Let's take a look at a famous design that we know really well, YouTube. If we remove every font style, we'll see that nothing feels the same anymore. Nothing is organized, and everything is fighting for our attention. Giving order and visual hierarchy is the main typography's rule in web design. Let's start with the basics of typography. One of the most common mistakes I see is people mixing up typefaces and fonts, or just calling everything a font, but they aren't the same thing. Let's see. A typeface is a family of fonts that share the same visual characteristics, like Inter for example. Inter is a typeface, while Interbold, Interlight, or Interitalic are all fonts within that family. Typefaces are generally divided into two main categories, serif and sans serif. Serif typefaces have small decorative strokes, often called feet or tails, at the end of the letters. They are great for conveying elegance, tradition, or a more unique style. Sans serif typefaces, on the other hand, are clean and modern. They don't have those strokes, making them minimal, highly readable, and perfect for digital interfaces and modern websites. When you choose a typeface, you can customize it through 4 key settings. These make the difference for visual hierarchy and readability of a website. The first one is font weight. This controls how thick or thin the text appears. Font weight is one of the most powerful tools to create visual hierarchy and contrast. When choosing a typeface, make sure it comes with a wide range of weights. That gives you more flexibility in your design system. The second one is font size. This defines how large or small your text appears. To maintain consistency, designers often use type scales, predefined sets of sizes that help keep typography balanced and harmonious across a site. I recommend you to check typescales.com. The third one is line height. This is the vertical space between lines of a text in a paragraph. It depends on both the font family and size you are using. A good rule of thumb is 120% to 150% for body text and 85% to 100% for headings. The fourth one is letter spacing. This is the space between individual characters. A general rule is larger fonts need less letter spacing. Instead, smaller fonts benefit from slightly more spacing. This is just a small adjustment but can drastically improve your readability. We use typography settings to build a clear visual hierarchy. And that's what makes a website not only beautiful but easy to navigate and read. Let's go back to YouTube as an example. Without typography, everything felt chaotic. Everything was fighting for our attention. But when we have a good established hierarchy, everything falls into place. The title grabs your attention first. Then we naturally move to the thumbnail, the channel, and finally the description. Another important thing to check when designing a text is color contrast. We have to make sure that the text is readable on a certain background, and to do that, we can use a Figma plugin. This is very important and can make a difference between a good design and an average one. Then we have text alignment. There are 3 types of text alignment. The most common one is left alignment. We use it 99% of time since it's very easy to read and there are no inconsistency at the start of each line of text. That consistency makes it way easier for our eyes to read the content. Then we have center alignment. Center alignment is great to make things more visually balanced, but many people make the mistake of center align a huge amount of text. That makes it very difficult to read since every line of text is inconsistent with one another. A good rule that I personally follow is only center text if it's short, like 2 or 3 lines max, and make sure that your eyes don't have to shift too much from left to right while reading it. The last one is right alignment. This isn't very common and most of the times makes the text difficult to read, So use it for short paragraph and where there is a good reason behind it. To design a good website, we can also use font pairing. Font pairing simply means using two different typefaces, usually one for headings and one for body text. This not only makes your content easier to scan and read, but it also adds visual interest and helps clearly separate sections of information. A solid rule of thumb is to pair fonts with strong contrast. For example, you can use a serif font for the headings and a sans serif font for body text to keep everything clean and readable. This is very useful when designing a website that requires a serif for its style, but without sacrificing readability. We can use a good sans serif for body text and keeping the serif for the headings. You can see this approach in a few of my own designs, like Phoexa and Cactus Vacation Rental, where I pair different typefaces for headers and body text, without sacrificing readability or functionality. If done right, font pairing can completely change your design. To find a good font pairing, we can use this website called FontJoy. You can also decide the contrast between the two fonts. Now you might be asking, where can I find good typefaces for my designs? Don't worry, I got you. I personally use FontShare, Google Fonts and Uncut. All these websites are linked in the description down below. So that brings us to the end of the simplest typography guide you'll ever need. If you found this helpful, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to support the channel. If you have any questions, feel free to drop them in the comments below. That's all for now, thanks for watching, see you in the next one.